YouTube versus AI. I teased this on Friday as good news, but we're going to get to that here in just a few minutes. But first, happy Monday and welcome to the VoiceOver Huddle. My name is Mike Hathcote. I'm a pro voiceover talent and a voiceover coach. And on this podcast, this isn't a podcast. On this huddle, we try to give you as much insight as possible to help you grow your voiceover business. That's what we're here to do. and Once again, welcome. I am also the author of the VoiceOver Blueprint, which you can pick up in the description below for less than $10 for the digital download and the audiobook, as well as 4 free gifts. And once again, thank you for being here. Oh, don't forget to chime in on the chat so we can do some shout outs from where you're watching from here in just a minute. And also like and subscribe and hit the notification bell and all that good stuff so that we can make sure you get this content as quickly as possible. So you guys know every month we do these live expert training events. Of course, last month was a little different because we did the TV affiliate boot camp, which is still going on. But this month we're going back to our regularly scheduled program, which is bringing in an expert for a live expert training event that we do every month. And this month we've got a doozy. Many of you have heard of George Whittam. He's also known as George the Tech. He was actually very instrumental in helping the TV affiliate bootcamp folks get their sound dialed in for their TV affiliate demo that they're all getting as a part of that program. But this time he is going to do a standalone class called Practical Personal Studios. And of course, unless you've been living under a rock, George is probably one of the most globally recognized experts in voiceover in recording technology. He is known the world over as the guy who can help you dial in your sound on your studio. I don't care if you're in a $10,000 whisper room or in your PVC blanket fort. He is going to show us all and kind of demystify how audio works in whatever space you're in. So that's coming up on July 22nd. So it's a week from tomorrow. And of course, as usual, we're going to be giving away a seat to that class too. So out of all the entrants on the day before the class, I'm going to draw a name of a person who will win a free seat to that class. So all the information is down below. If you've never seen George or watched any of his stuff, he's just a really good guy. He's very humble, kind of soft-spoken, but extremely knowledgeable. And we've got him live July 22nd, a week from tomorrow. All the information is in that link below, so check it out. So here, I'll just read off some of the things he's going to talk about. He's going to talk about discovering the sweet spot for your microphone, because that can be a little bit of a mystery for a lot of people. How to get Neumann sound for if you're not on a Neumann budget. So he's going to look at talking about avoiding common interface mistakes. Interfaces are another big kind of question mark that a lot of people have. What do they do? Why do I need this one versus that one? He's going to talk about that. He's basically going to break down how to turn any room into a pro sounding studio, whether it's like I said, a blanket booth or a walk-in closet or whatever. He's going to show you how to create a good mobile setup. We call that a travel rig, where you can take it with you and you can, make sure you never miss an opportunity. He's going to also show you how to clean up bad audio. If you maybe your space isn't the most dialed in and you've got some hiss and you've got some background noise or whatever it may be, he's going to show you how to really attack that with all the built-in tools that are already in your DAW and maybe a couple of plugins. He'll show you how to attack that like a pro engineer. So that's just a few things that he's going to talk about. So if studio sound has always kind of mystified you, he is going to demystify it. So once again, check out all the info below, and I hope to see you there. Okay, let's get into it. All right, so I talked about this just a bit on Monday, or I'm sorry, on Friday, and it's a bit of good news for the entire voiceover industry, and I'll break it down. But basically, it's a win in the battle with our robot overlords. um, so starting tomorrow, the 15th, starting tomorrow, YouTube will begin demonetizing AI content. AI generated content, including voiceovers. So all those videos that you've seen that have AI voices on them who used to make money, starting tomorrow are going to be demonetized. Not just with voiceover, but also just AI generated content, visual content. That is all being demonetized, meaning that the people who make those videos, those kind of faceless videos like the top 10 alien abduction stories or whatever, and all that low end content will now not be able to make money with those kinds of videos and content, audio and video. So if those creators want to continue to make money on YouTube, they're going to have to now switch back to using real images, real voiceovers, and not AI created content. This, like I said, is a pretty big win and it's a bold stance by YouTube. But why they're doing this is that the people have spoken um, with their engagement or their lack of engagement. YouTube has always been about engagement, interaction, and people just are not engaging in those videos because they know that it's artificially generated. So that is the main reason why they're doing this. So they want real people, they want real content or no payout, right? So I think this is a win. And hopefully you do too. And by the way, I'm going to put a link to an article about this. There's been a bunch of articles about it. I'm putting a link to it in the chat right now. Is that what this is? Let's see. Yeah. Oh, it's got too many characters. Dang it. Well, it's got 20 too many characters. Well, let me see what I can do to shorten that. Well, I don't want to spend all the time doing that now, but anyway, it is just really good news. So just do a quick Google search for the article that I was going to send is under techstartups.com. So maybe just do a Google search for techstartups.com, AI, or I'm sorry, YouTube to demonetize AI generated videos. That is where you can read all about it. So, all right, let's get into doing some shout outs. How about that? There's David from Hamilton, Ontario. Nice to see you here. First one in. And there's Sean Hunt. Happy Monday from Longview. And Bob from Wadsworth, Ohio. Hey, Sarah. Sarah's listening to this while driving to Nashville. Well, tell Tennessee I said hi. And there's Kathleen from Evanston. And Nephi from Knoxville, also in Tennessee. Hey, Theo. Happy Monday to all from downtown Chicago. Let's go. And Jim from Beaufort, South Carolina. Sally says good morning from Plano, Texas. And Nancy in Yankton, South Dakota. Hey, Dennis from Grant Park, Illinois. And there's Edward from Jacksonville, Florida. Good to see you. Terry says it's huddle time on a Monday. Welcome from Fallston, Maryland. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. And there's Kirk from Greenville, South Carolina. Tim says, happy Monday from Altoona. That's a good one. And there's John from Denver. Hello to you. And Alex from Utah. Hey, Doug from Greensboro, North Carolina. And Wayne from Port Orchard. Good to see y'all here. Happy Monday. And there's DeCarlos. Happy Monday from Las Vegas. Hey, James from Austin, Texas. And there's Grady back in Ithaca, New York. He was in Texas over the last week or so. And there's Scotty from Brookings, South Dakota. And JJ Holland from beautiful farmland, Minnesota. Robert Taylor, a lot of my YouTube clients are shifting away from AI and wanting real human voices. Yeah, and you have to kind of be careful too with those creators, because before the prevalence of AI, a lot of those creators, those YouTube creators, were wanting people who they were hiring human, which in itself is a good thing, but they were not paying well. They were paying just, I mean, slave wages. They were paying, like 1,500 words for $5, $10. I mean, that's just no, just don't do that. The more you do that, the more you're going to tell them that it's okay to do that. So I don't care if you're brand new and you just want to get your foot in the door. Don't do that, because it just drives down the rates for everyone. So you know, know your worth, make sure that you're getting what you're worth on those jobs, and hopefully they'll come around and realize that the only way to get quality is to pay for it. And so just be careful with that. There's Jay from Covington, Georgia. There's Stephen in this beautiful day in Atlanta. Good to see you. And there's Lynette. Looking forward to another exciting week ahead. Me too. And there's Andrew from Latvia. Good morning to you. Sean says, George is the best. His rack settings made my audio sound freaking amazing. Yeah, he's doing all the stacks for our TV affiliate class that I mentioned earlier. And of course, different types of VO do require different effects racks. One sound does not cover everything. So George is creating a TV affiliate effects rack for all the people who are in the voice or the TV affiliate boot camp. And so I've asked him if he can do this separate webinar for us, which is a live webinar that's going to cover all the sound questions that you may have about getting whatever space you're in to sound pro. There's Keith. Good afternoon, everyone. Cool Keith from Raleigh. And Tracy from Rochester, Minnesota. Edwin says, wow, that's pretty big. I assume you're referring to the YouTube thing. It is. It is pretty big. Like I said, it's just one little battle in the war, but I think it's a pretty big battle. JJ says, is there a VO Blueprint discount for this one? Sounds like a great class. It is, and yes, there is a Blueprint. Use that regular code, that regular Blueprint member code, and you will get your Blueprint discount on this class, as usual. DG says, good morning from LA, Mike. You're rocking it. Keep up the great work, and thank you. Well, thank you, and you're rocking it. Appreciate it. JJ says, love what YouTube is doing. Me too. And it's a pretty, like I said, it's a pretty bold thing to do, because they could have just let this thing go. But I guess in the overall scheme of things, algorithm wise and all that on YouTube, there's less and less interaction and, engagement in those videos. And of course, they've always been about engagement, because the more engagement they have, the more ads they can put in front of you. And, that's how they make money. So less engagement means less money for YouTube. Plus they're paying out, that money to those creators who are using the AI job or the AI content. And now they won't have to do that anymore too. So they're going to be gaining more money on the front end from ads, and also them not having to pay out to fake content. So, I mean, I can see why they're doing it. It's surely a business decision. Sarah says, I made a comment to a guy who had an Audacity help video, but was using AI generated voice to explain. We went back and forth, and he did not understand why I was opposed to AI being used. Yeah, you can't, sometimes you just can't argue with them. But I guess YouTube is just, when they found out that YouTube is doing this, if they have found out, maybe they haven't found out yet, then they're going to find out soon enough. And then they're going to realize why. Jim says, that's Upwork pricing to me. No thanks. Well, no, I wouldn't say Upwork is that bad. There's some low ballers on Upwork, like any other platform out there. There's going to be low ballers, but that's even worse than Upwork. And I've always found that Upwork tends to have a little better quality clientele than Fiverr and some of the other, freelance platforms. Um, I've made quite a bit of money on Upwork, and not from lowball jobs, from really good paying jobs. So it's not just Upwork. Jim says, I've noticed that the people who do what you do have group chats and YouTube all have shotguns. I wouldn't say all of them. There's quite a few out there, I'm sure. And, but there's also, I've seen plenty of Blue Yetis and, um, you know, all the way up to Neumann's and, stuff like that. So it's all over the board. I like my shotgun though. Sean says YouTube is full of YouTube type ads this morning. Oh, really? Well, that's probably because they're not going to be able to use AI anymore. So there you go. It's already happening because tomorrow is, D-Day when they're going to stop monetizing. So yeah, I'd say a lot of those content creators are now scrambling to, redo the content they have with an actual human voice. So you may start seeing a spike, but just remember, don't take what they're given when it comes to those low ball jobs. When they're coming to you for usually the typical script size of those videos is around 14 to 1500 words. Okay. So if you're being, um, if you're being, if you're holding to your pricing, don't go that bottom of the barrel. They're going to offer 5, $10 for that. Just don't do it. And if none of us do it, I mean, then they're going to realize that they're going to have to pay for the real thing. Jim's asking, what is going on? I don't know what you're referring to, but there's a lot going on. Robert says, I'm getting $25 to $50 a script. That's still way too low. If it's a 1,500 word script, that is just, that hurts my soul to hear that. That is way too low. For 1,500 words, I mean, it should be in the hundreds of dollars versus $25 to $50 a script. Your time is worth way more than that. And remember the 3 T's, your time, your training, and your talent. Those are the 3 T's that you should take into consideration when you're actually quoting a job. Time, training, talent. 3 T's. Keith said, Mike, would an effects rack from George be very different from one that Alex comes up with? Are there major differences in audio for TV as audio for standard VO? I mean, Alex could probably do the same thing, but George has been doing this for so long and is so kind of globally well respected for this. That's the reason why I asked George to do it, because that's kind of what he does day in and day out for all genres, not just TV or regular VO or, promo or, I mean, all of them have little tiny tweaks that you need to do for each different genre. So that's why George is, so good about that. Jim is asking, what were you referring to about happening tomorrow? That's when YouTube is going to stop monetizing VO content that is AI generated, uh, audio and video. So they're going to stop paying out for creators who are using AI to create their videos. Big deal. Big deal. All right. Speaking of VO, that's what I'm about to get to do. So I'm going to jump off of here, but I'll see you back here tomorrow for more VO stuff. Until then, we'll see you then. Bye now.